welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this really cute Grinch hand using items from the Dollar Tree and feather boas from Joann's. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to make it. Alright, let's get started with this. So, if you've been on my website lately, you see the disclaimer on the front page where I'm going through and I'm revamping a lot of my older tutorials to make them into new videos. So if you're looking for an old craft on there and it's not there, it's probably because I have hidden that particular post and I'm trying to redo everything. Now, last year, I kind of did this before I was really into making YouTube videos, okay? And the written tutorial, I used eyelash yarn. Now, eyelash yarn is getting kind of hard to find, especially in the green Grinchy color. So this is going to be a lot easier and a lot better to find and to use. Because with the eyelash yarn, it's very thin, and you did have to use a whole lot of it to build up the hand on this thing. So what I have here, of course, is the candy cane form from Dollar Tree. And I have some feather boas. I got these from Joann's. I can't remember exactly how much they were. I want to say they were $7 each, but they were on sale. And of course, you can always use a coupon. You're not going to need a whole one for this. Well, I got 2 green ones. You're not going to need 2 green ones. I just grabbed some because I want to make a few of these. I got this lime green one and this white one. And you could probably find these at, excuse me, Hobby Lobby, especially like I just said, Joann's, AC Moore, Party City. Look at Party Supply Stores. You can probably find them there as well. I have a green one and a white one. Now for the arm part, you can use red ribbon, you can use fabric, you can use whatever you like, but I have a ton of this red mesh from the Dollar Tree, so I'm going to use that. Of course, you're going to need a pair of wire cutters. I'm going to have to put some force behind mine because my wire cutters are old. They're about as old and dull as my ex-husband's jokes. You're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers, so that we can curl the ends a little bit so that they're not, you know, sticking out and being very sharp in case the kids should get a hold of this. You're also going to need a hot glue gun. So, what we're going to do is, let's take the tag off of this thing to begin with. And my cat's trying to come in. On this curved part here, this is what we're going to use for the fingers. So we need to cut them apart from this bar going across here. Like I said, mine are a little dull, so, oh, well, not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I do need to buy a new pair of these, though. So I'm just going to clip it that way. Look at that glue on my finger. Good Lord. I'm going to glue myself. And I'm just going to spread these apart just a little bit. And clip the other parts off. And I'm going to let it fly across the room. Whee! Now let's cut this other one. Okay, this is going to be our fingers. Okay. And we need to take this part and the long part here and bend it to straighten it out just a little bit so that it's not as curved. And don't worry about what this is looking like because once we get this fuzzy stuff on there, excuse me, y'all going to have to excuse my throat clearing and coughing. That looks a little bit better. Okay, now let's bend these out. Now we're going to take these, your needle nose pliers, and I'm going to get a hold of the end, and I want to just bend them down a little bit. Now, on my old one, if I can get a hold of it, on my other one, I did not do this. I just put a blob of hot glue on it. And if that's what you want to do, that's just fine. But now that my youngest little boy is getting into everything, I just really want to bend these out of the way. And I'm going to also use the ends to put a blob of glue on to start wrapping my green boa here in a second. There we go. So now I have them all bent out like this. And I'm looking at it, and I think I might want these fingers to be a little bit longer. Or do I? I might. So I think I'm going to cut this center bar off as well. You know what? I'm not going to make y'all watch me do this. I'm going to pause the video right quick and then come back once I have this cut off. Okay, now I have that second bar cut off. And the thing with this is, if you don't want the fingers that long, it's okay. I wanted mine a little bit longer, and I think I'm going to start wrapping my boa completely for the arm right around here. But anyway, what we're going to do with this is we're going to separate it from the white one. And they have these little tie doohickeys on the end. I did not bring my scissors in here, so I'm just going to use that to cut it. Okay, so starting at the end of this one here, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. And I'm going to take the end of my boa, and I'm going to try to feed, as you can see, there's like a little cord right there in the center. I'm just going to stick that little piece of cord right through that hole that I made, that loop. See, with the eyelash yarn, I just tied a knot and I put a blob of glue on it. But this is a lot thicker than that yarn, and you're not going to be able to tie it. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap the boa around and around. This is going to take you a minute, believe me. I'm going to put just a little blob of glue right here on the back side just to help hold it. And then I'm going to let that glue set up, and then I'm going to continue wrapping the finger all the way down to the bottom here. Like I said, this will take you a minute. This isn't something that you're just going to sit down and do in a few seconds. Of course, because mine is stuck right there. Okay, I'm just going to continue wrapping. And then when I get right down here, I'm just going to put a blob of glue. I'm going to stick the boa to it, trim it, and then I'm going to start working on the next finger. Just tighten that up, and we'll slide it down. And while I'm waiting for that glue to dry, harden up, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to pause the video one more time. I'm going to continue wrapping all of these fingers, and then when I get to the end of this one here, I'll come back and I'll show you how I glue it down to the end and then continue wrapping. Okay, so I have these three wrapped. Now for this last one, because I want it to look like, you know, his hand, you know how it is like this, like grabbing the Christmas ornament. I took this one and I just bent it in the opposite direction so that I can make two little pincher fingers right here. And so far I have this much left of my boa, and I'm hoping that this is going to be enough, because I seriously don't want to have to cut into that other one. And it all depends on how tightly you wrap yours, of course, as to whether or not one boa is going to be enough. But one boa should be fine. I was trying to gauge like how much I would use, because I remember with the eyelash yarn, if you've ever used it, you know that they come in fairly small little skeins, and I used half of one, almost half of one. It might have been a little bit over half of one that I used when I did this. Oh yes, this will be plenty. And I was trying to gauge that by like yardage, you know, by that as to how much of this I would need. So I'm just going to, and then wrap that end around just like that. All these little fuzzies are going to go away. I had made an Easter bunny, not a wreath, but like a little wire form type deal one time, and I used these white boas. And the fuzzies do calm down after a little bit. Okay, let's see what we've got. Okay, that looks like a Grinchy hand. And of course, once your glue sets up, very carefully, you can go back and rebend the fingers to make it look exactly the way that you want. So let's see if I want to use the other green boa, or if I just want to start wrapping with the white. And I think I'm just going to start wrapping with the white. And let's see, I'm going to try to not cut this end. So I'm going to just put a blob of hot glue right here, and then I'm going to glue down the white right here. Now I'm just going to wrap that around to be like his little Santa fuzzy on his suit. And I think this can be aggravating to work with. Do I want to do some more? I think I'm going to do some more. So let's take this tag off. And this is working better, I think, than the yarn. I do believe so. A lot of people say, well, what do you do with it? Well, you know what? You can use it to like stick out of the center of a wreath and stick out to the other side. You can stick this in your Christmas tree and make it look like the Grinch is stealing ornaments off of your tree. You could fasten it to your wall, like on a door frame, to make it look like his arm is sticking out of a door. There's a lot of things that you could do with it. So now we're going to let that sit until that glue kind of hardens up. Now for the mesh, but like I said earlier, you know, you can use ribbon, you can use whatever you want to make the red part of the arm. I just happen to have a lot of this, so I'm going to use one. And all I'm going to do with this mesh is I'm just going to wrap it around the frame, just like I've been doing this stuff. Pretty simple. Let's trim this off. And the little fuzzies are everywhere. There we go. I'm going to slide this up to put my mesh on. I could have done the mesh first, but hey. Okay. Trying to see exactly how I want to do this. I think what I'll do is I'll just start wrapping. And because this stuff up here is so fuzzy, I can just fluff it back down over the mesh when I'm done. Just wrap it, wrap it, wrap it, making sure to try to get it somewhat tight. Yes, ribbon will be easier, but I don't have any wide red ribbon right now. So I'm just going to wrap this all the way down, and then I will hot glue the end. So let me do that. I will pause the video once again because this is going to take several layers and a few minutes to do. And I'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to attach my little ornament. Okay, so here we are. Here is the little Grinch hand, and then here is the arm. And it was hard to do on camera, of course, and it worked out a lot better if I just laid it in my lap and wrapped it. So, there we go. There's our little Grinch hand. Now what we need to do is bring these two fingers together to make it look like he's actually pinching them, and pinching the ornament. And you could do that however you want to. I have some of this floral wire, and you're not going to see this because of all the fuzzies. I'm just going to take one end of the wire and wrap it around the end of this where we bent it and made our little loop. And then I'm just going to bring it around and wrap it around the other one just a couple times, and it just draws those two fingers right together. You can use a piece of string, dental floss, whatever you want to use. Like I said, you're not going to see this. So I'm just going to tighten that wire there, and then I'm just going to trim it off like this. And because of all these fuzzies, it hides everything so well. You're not going to be able to see any of this stuff. Okay, now I have a red Christmas ornament. This is the one, well, one of the ones that I glittered in my polyacrylic Christmas ornament video. I'll link to that down below in the description box, and I'll put a pop-up up here. Now what we want to do is attach this ornament to the hand, and I want it to kind of dangle a little bit. That's what I'm aiming for here. So I think I'm going to take a piece of this ribbon. This is from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut a length of it. And then I'm going to cut that length of ribbon in half because I don't have any really skinny or really thin glittery ribbon. I'm just going to use this. I'm just going to cut a thin strip just like this. And I'm going to use that to loop around the holder of this ornament. And this little bow here, of course, came from Dollar Tree as well. I just glued that bow on there. I'm going to loop this ribbon through, and there is the hanger. Now I'm going to attach it here. And I think the way I want to do that is, how do I want to do this? I don't know. I might just wrap it around like that and glue it. just like that. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's get the ends somewhat even here. And just bring this around. And I'm just going to put a blob of glue there. Or you know what? I got a better idea. Y'all know sometimes how I have something in my head and then I go back and I change it. I'm just going to put a blob of glue there. There we go. We'll just make this ribbon one strand like that. And then we'll wrap it around this way. This looks a lot better than the one I made last year, I'll tell you that. It looks a heck of a lot better. It really does. The eyelash show was pretty, it was. But this looks better. It looks more realistic, more Grinch-like, I think. So, like I said, that was the first time that I had done it, you know. So, and I had that yarn in my stash, is why I used it. So I'm going to trim this ribbon here. And we'll let that glue set up. And there is our little Grinchy hand holding his ornament. And of course, y'all saw a much better shot of this at the beginning of the video. So, if you would, please, please give this video a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media. The links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see y'all next time.